Yeah, we did it. We did it.
He's a piece of shit. I honestly do. He's a piece of shit.
What's going on, you guys? Gervonta Tank Davis. Is he using the the Floyd Mayweather blueprint? Two guys has come out this past week saying that Gervonta Tank Davis is following that Mayweather blueprint. Hit that like button for your boy. We on Bushido Boxing TV. This is where we're going to be. But Timothy Bradley comes out and gives his thoughts on Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, we all know that Timothy Bradley isn't a fan of Tank Davis, right? He says he likes him as a fighter, but he don't like him as a person, right?
I think that Heyman and Mayweather Promotions, they've done a great job with it, building him. Great job building the brand. Okay, you got the brand now. The kid is a star. Kid sells out arenas. Now it's time to give him his career. The Hall of Fame career. I'm right here on the soil, right here. Hall of Fame ain't nothing but a few minutes away from here. That's what Tank should be thinking about, man. Want to be remembered for the rest of his career. I mean, the money is great and all, but man, get in there and fight somebody, bro. Fight somebody. Fight somebody that we all know. Somewhere where we don't know who's gonna win the fight. Take that risk, because yes, you're now known. Everybody know you. The brand is built. But can we get the fights now? The people want to see.
And yeah, he said he's simply following the Mayweather blueprint. Also, Max Holloway, former UFC featherweight champion and future Hall of Famer, one should say, right? He's been in the UFC since he was 19 years old. He's now 31 years old, and he still finds himself at the top of the division. Of course, Alexander Volkanovski is the guy that's stopping him from regaining that title once again. But Max Holloway is in a rock and a hard place in the UFC, and now he's looking at guys like Gervonta Tank Davis in a cross-promotion fight. But before we get to that, Timothy Bradley has some pretty interesting things to say about Gervonta Tank Davis. And yeah. He says this, quote, "This guy is a killer in the ring. Power. You could tell he could box. Really high IQ. And good footwork. He's a lot better defensively sound than people give him credit for. He's got the mental toughness to go along with him." That's what Timothy Bradley said about Tank Davis, right? He has some nice things to say now, right? But he also have some things bad to say. Then he says, "I didn't know that he could take punches like that. He got hit on the chin and he felt it and was able to tie up and do what he needed to do to survive. I was like, man, this dude is a real fighter, but he hasn't fought the very best in the sport yet." And this is Timothy Bradley saying about Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, then he says, "So will he now? We're going to see. Get online and see how many incidents this young man is doing." And then Timothy Bradley talks about some of Gervonta Tank Davis's past troubles, right? We know, he had the altercation with the pregnant woman and, another previous incident, right? Timothy Bradley says the car accident where he fled the scene, the hit and run. I'm like, what? What do you mean fled the scene? He left innocent people in the car. He ran into them now, and that was basically up in smoke. That says something about your character. That says something about you as a person to do that. You being who you are, the new face of boxing, as you say, that bothers me. Then the whole 911 call and the girl screaming on the phone. I understand that she probably retracted her words. The dude, Gervonta, had a fight coming up against Hector Garcia in a week or so. Of course she's going to retract her words. She ain't stupid. Wow, so Timothy Bradley don't believe that Gervonta Davis is innocent in that particular incident with his baby mama, right? Then he says, going through, and I heard the whole call, that bothers me. My judgment is based on his actions. It's not based on my feelings. It's based on his actions. I can like him as a fighter, but as a person, I think he's a piece of shit. I really do. Wow. Then he says, it might rub people, but that's my opinion. And at least I say it. I'm not one of those ones that run around your back and won't tell you. I'll tell it to his face. That's the type of dude that I am, and that's how I'm raised. This personality I have now is because people spoke and said what they wanted to say about me. I'm very opinionated because of what I went through. I wasn't like this before, said Timothy. Wow. So Timothy Bradley says, look, man, life has made me this way. Life has made me so opinionated, right? And Timothy Bradley has been very vocal about how he feels about Gervonta Tank Davis.
I think he's a piece of shit. I honestly do. He's a piece of shit.
Then he says, they got him following Money May. They got him following the Money May blueprint of matchmaking. Money May, that's the blueprint he's following now. It all boils down to the fighter. You're in a relationship with your promoter. It's a partnership with your promoter, and your promoter might have a different outlook. So basically he's saying if the fighter wants to fight, fights usually will happen, but the promoter may see things a little differently. You may have a different outlook. You may have to come together and talk about that. If there's something you really want to do, you want to really be part of your career, you want to make this fight because it's your legacy, that's what you believe in, then you'll make that fight happen. This is something I've been saying for years. When two fighters want to fight, they'll make it happen. Now, of course, you got some guys who will come in here and say, oh, well, you know, the business and the suits and all this other stuff. But I feel that in reality, right, if a fighter really wanted to make something happen, and if he was at a certain point of his career to where he can make things happen, then it'll happen. He says, regardless, they have to make the fight happen because they're working for you. You're working together, and they're also working for you. The promoters also have a relationship with the network, and that's where things get a little difficult. I mean, so look, to wrap that part up, Timothy Bradley says he ain't really fought nobody. He's following Mayweather blueprint, the blueprint that Mayweather followed in the second half of his career where he was carefully fighting certain guys, right? Big fan of Floyd, big fan of Tank, so I'm not really tripping. But if I be lying to you, if I told you Timothy Bradley was lying, right? Because truth be told, Tank Davis hasn't fought the best of the best in any weight classes that he's been in as of yet. Of course, he's the face of boxing. He's a very exciting fighter. He moves the needle. Really, really good for the sport. So good that Max Holloway, former UFC featherweight champion, is looking for the smoke. And Max Holloway, former UFC featherweight champion, finds himself in a rock and a hard place. Do the UFC want to make a third fight with Volkanovski when Holloway lost a majority of this series that they've been part of? You know, he's in a really, really rock and hard place right now in his career. At 31 years old, been in the UFC for over 10 years. One of the fan favorites of the sport, one of the best fighters in the sport history, but he finds himself stuck behind Alexander Volkanovski, right? But he's looking elsewhere for some attention, and he's looking at Tank Davis, and he also comes out and says that Tank Davis is following the Money Mayweather blueprint, and he says this, quote, let's make a big fight with Tank or something. Floyd and Tank. Tank is following Floyd Mayweather's recipe to the key. So why not fight an MMA guy and we do a big one? I could talk shit to him. Just don't put no hydration clauses in it like how he did my man Garcia. That would be a fun one. Everybody talking about that shot, that KO punch against Garcia, like, oh, well, he could have gotten up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, the hydration clause is real. He couldn't rehydrate properly, and that shot, it may not look hard, but to a dehydrated body, that hurts a lot. Wow. So even he is talking about the rehydration clause. And I told you guys, this is what's going to be a thing. And I felt that Tank Davis didn't need it at all. I think really highly of Gervonta Tank Davis's talent, despite my criticism. And this is why I critique him, because I feel that he's a lot better than the way he's been moving, these fighting these guys and putting clauses on dudes. I feel he's way better than that. Then he says, that shot probably hurts a lot, even if you're not dehydrated. So I can only imagine, man, it came out the same day that he had a rat and he actually got hurt to the body. That sucks. At the end of the day, that was tough, but I would love to do a big one. Maybe do a T-Mobile Arena like they did with McGregor and stuff. So Max Holloway expressed interest in Gervonta Tank Davis. These fighters know all about the mole and Ryan Garcia's camp, everything, right? He knows all about what's going on, man. It's funny. Will they make a fight like this? I don't know. It depends on which way Tank Davis want to go. Dana White recently came out and passed that he's not really looking to do any more cross-promotion fights. Maybe he'll do what Max, since Max Holloway is at a certain point of his career to where he's still like champion caliber, but he can't quite get past Alexander Volkanovski. Also, he's just a little too small for some of those bigger guys at 155 pounds. So, yeah, Max Holloway, will he get a fight with Gervonta? I doubt it. I don't see it happening either way. But yeah, you guys, that's just the latest. Everybody's saying that Tank Davis is running with the Mayweather blueprint. Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.